Hello guys, this is Tommy here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today guys, we're back for another amazing video, and this video is about Phase 8 of TMCU. Now anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah. Now our first project is Spider-Man Devil's Reign. So in this project, we start off after the events of Avengers Annihilation, as Peter Parker has now left the Avengers team, and he's also focused on a new life for himself by going into college despite his identity being revealed. So yeah, he goes into Empire State University. He meets Mary Jane while also joining the Daily Bugle in order to pay rent for himself and his new apartment after the death of his Aunt May, with him starting to move on from it as he also lives in the same apartment complex as Miles Morales. Meanwhile, Wilson Fisk is now the new mayor of New York City and the kingpin of the criminal underworld as he reforms the anti-vigilante task force and many other groups in order to hunt down vigilantes in the city, especially Spider-Man and Daredevil. He orders them to be captured while giving the Magi independence from his empire so that they can work with Fisk in order to help him achieve his goals and reform internationally as they once had before. Spider-Man and Spider-Woman meet one night as they both realize that they cannot let Fisk either arrest or kill all vigilantes and superheroes in New York City, which could be very bad as they begin searching for him and his men, with help from many other heroes such as Miles Morales, Black Cat, Sally Averill, etc. And of course, they are attacked by a group of villains who are sent by the Kingpin, which consists of Taskmaster, the Prowler, Scorpion, Echo, and the Tracksuit Mafia, and as the fight ensues, Hector is killed by Prowler as the group end up escaping after this. The Daily Bugle reveals on the news as they confirm of everything that they know about Fisk and that the Scorpion has somehow escaped prison after a gas explosion, while the heroes realize they need help from Jefferson Davis and Wraith and many more. Now, the Five Boroughs Crime Council meet as they discuss the attack, and Harry confirms his plan to kill Peter Parker to avenge his father's death, while they are now having discovered Daredevil's identity and Matt Murdock and plan on exposing him to the world, as the latter has reformed the Marvel Knights team in order to combat Kingpin and the Magia. Harry Osborn and the Hood, along with many other villains, confront Peter and his team as Harry reveals that Sorry, I did not mean to include the Prowler there. Yeah, he got killed off early in the film. Anyway, though, Harry reveals that Peter's parents were CIA agents until they got killed by Norman Osborn, which leaves Peter outraged as he guides his team to fight the villains as Miles nearly kills the Prowler, who turns... Prowler killed Hector. My bad. Anyway, though, as Miles nearly kills the Prowler, who turns out to be his uncle Aaron Davis, and begins working for Fisk after falling out with his brother Jefferson Davis. This is what happened in the past, of course. Hood kills him before the latter is then killed by Peter as the villain's temporary escape. Kingpin is reunited with his boss Don Rigoletto, who brought him into crime into first place as he was in second command of the Magia before the latter meets with his men after killing Rigoletto. Kingpin did, obviously, as they discussed their plan to expose Daredevil's identity. Fisk discussed it with his men in order to potentially run for president, although they are attacked by the Marvel Knights, which leads to a massive fight with Team Spider and the Marvel Knights, as both of them team up against Kingpin and all the bad guys. Punisher kills Taskmaster, Janice Lincoln, Miles Lopez betray Fisk, and prevent him from exposing Daredevil's identity. Mary Jane arrives, convinces Harry to move on, forgives him, and Harry sacrifices himself to save Peter from Kingpin. There are a few deaths from both sides, as the Tracksuit Mafia leave Fisk's empire while Wilson and Vanessa leave New York City for Bermuda, while Peter and Mary Jane fall in love, as he now accepts Gwen's death and starts his own company with help from two lovebirds, Miles Morales and Black Cat. Both of them are now dating, by the way. So this right here is the full cast for Spider-Man Devil's Reign. Whether you guys can read it or not, there it is. Now, in the mid-credit scene, Johnny Storm, Firestar, and Iceman begin working for Parker Industries as Peter is approached by Martin Lee, who wants to cooperate with Peter for unknown reasons and is also the leader/founder of the charity group known as Feast. In the post-credit scene, after the good guys have moved on from their conflict with Fisk, well, for now at least, Luke Cage decides to run for mayor despite Tombstone and the remaining members of the Magia, Hand, and Fisk's empire ruling over the criminal underworld and preparing for a huge gang war. So these are all the characters who die in the film. The second project is titled Thor: Battle of the Gods. Now, in this film, Zeus has visions of an army of symbiotes who are an alien species that bond with other living beings, despite the all-black Negrosaur getting destroyed at the end of Thor 4, aka Journey into Mystery, obviously. Now, Zeus warns his family, the Olympians group, and the Council of Godheads of this, and 4 years later, after the events of Avengers Annihilation, Thor and Love are now living in New Asgard with Thor as its king there, and Valkyrie as queen, with Love now Agent and Korg, Dwayne, Miek, Beta Ray Bill, and many more living there, although Annabelle Riggs arrives on New Asgard with her crew as they are searching for ancient artifacts as Riggs falls in love with Valkyrie. Meanwhile, the Enchantress is now living in Broxton, Oklahoma as a fugitive after the events of Wonder Man and has taken control of the Roxxon Energy Corporation, the largest human energy production and manufacturing company ever, as she also runs to her former mentor, Carnilla, as she, along with the three sisters of Nornheim, are later killed by the Enchantress. Now, the Watcher learns from the One Above All that Zeus is trying to warn humanity of the symbiote's arrival, as the Watcher is searching for the Enchantress. Although Zeus instead sends Hercules to New Asgard to recruit Thor, but since he doesn't believe him, Hercules fights Thor, as the latter uses the Odin Force to defeat Hercules, and makes him realize that they must work together and form the God Squad team in order to prevent Zeus from arriving to Earth, which could provoke a war between the Greek and Norse gods. Enchantress and Minotaur, the CEO of Roxxon, arrive on Svartalfheim, very powerful and advanced civilization, after the events of Thor War of the Realms. Enchantress wants to conquer all the 9 realms and restore Asgard back to its old glory. And she also releases many former Asgardian enemies from their prisons, kills many Dark Elves and other peoples on Svartalfheim as well. Thor and Hercules form the God Squad, although it is not enough as Ares confront Hercules. Did mention about the God Squad earlier, but whatever. However, though, Ares wants to kill both Thor and Hercules to impress his father, although they are instead confronted by the Enchantress and Cole Borson, Odin's long-lost brother, who Cole Borson is. He was also freed from Enchantress and once tried to take over New Asgard. Korg and Miek are killed when Zeus plans on sending his forces to Earth to confront Thor and everyone on New Asgard. God Squad escape and seek out help from the Watcher, Eternals, and Corbinites, as the Watcher reveals that Zeus is not only worried about the symbiotes, but also wants humanity to fear the gods, and they're also working with the Celestials. Final battle kicks off as all-out war ensues, although Cole Borson redeems himself, and Thor and Hercules work together to defeat Zeus and Ares for good. Beta Ray Bill wields Stormbreaker, and Thor sacrifices himself by becoming Ruined King Thor in order to save New Asgard from destruction. Funeral for Thor in the end after the bad guys are defeated. Watcher smiles as he watches everyone celebrating Valkyrie officially becoming king and Annabelle Riggs, her new love interest, becoming queen. Now, anyway guys, this is the full cast for Thor Battle of the Gods, and as you guys can see here, it might look a little bit different, but whatever. Now, in the mid-credit scene, with the Watcher now trying to make sure that all the surviving villains don't cause more havoc, he explains to Love, who now wields Mjolnir, that she's the avatar of eternity since the latter resurrected her, and considers her as some sort of a singularity figure. In the post-credit scene, Thor's backstory is brought. His whole story is brought full circle, and the whole thing has brought closure as Thor is now in Valhalla, the Asgardian afterlife, obviously reunited with all of his loved ones, which brings closure to his story once and for all. Now, anyway, guys, this is the list of all the characters who die in this film. Now, the third film is titled X-Men Deadpool. So we start off as we are introduced to Wade Wilson, a former soldier in the Canadian Special Forces. However, he got discharged due to his kill count and later became a mercenary who works at Sister Margaret's School for Wayward Children, moves to New York City, where he meets bartender Jack Hammer, aka Weasel, and Robert Dobalina, a former Hydra agent who left to start a new life after getting divorced. One day while meeting with Weasel at a bar, he meets Vanessa Carlos Soul and gets into a fight with motorcycle gang member Buck after he had slapped Vanessa, and Wade eventually falls in love with Vanessa as he then proposes to her a year later, and Vanessa says yes, although Wade suddenly collapses. Wade is diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, with Vanessa still by his side and unsure whether he will live or not. He tells Weasel about his diagnosis as he's unsure whether he will live or not. The Weasel shocked about this, and Wade is then recruited into the Workshop, which is a top-secret organization and former subsidiary of Weapon X that experiments on humans and turns them into mutants. After leaving Vanessa unannounced, Wade is taken to the Workshop, which is run by Dr. Emrys Killebrew and former Weapon X subject turned Francis Freeman, aka Ajax, as Wade is then experimented on. And after weeks of torture and abuse, he becomes immune with the ability to break the fourth wall and the ability of immortality that he has as well. However, he learns of the Workshop's true goals, which is to turn humans into mutants and sell them to pro-human groups who use mutants as slaves. Wade, aka Deadpool, attacks Ajax and his men after they attempt to sell him to a mysterious man known as the Headmaster. This incident goes viral as Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead are sent by Professor X in order to monitor Deadpool, as the latter meets with Weasel and Bob at a bar and are greeted by a special cameo appearance from Howard the Duck, before Wade explains the situation to the two as he needs their help with his move to hunt down Ajax and all of his associates, in which the two agree with. Deadpool moves in with his blind roommate Althea and seeks out help from his old comrades. The Alpha Flight team, closest Negasonic Teenage Warhead, meet with Deadpool. Latter is left confused, although they team up after learning that Ajax has left Vanessa held hostage. And Dopinder, Indian taxi driver and one of Deadpool's good friends, obviously. Anyway, drives the trio to the Workshop. They meet up with Bob and the Alpha Flight, plan on rescuing Vanessa before the big fight ensues. Ajax and his team fight and confront Deadpool and his allies. Deadpool fights Ajax before killing him after killing many of his men, and Ajax reveals that there's never a cure to his cancer. However, Deadpool rescues all the people in the Workshop, including Vanessa, who he reconciles with, as Deadpool refuses to join the X-Men so they can live peacefully with Vanessa and all of his friends. In the end, Deadpool has now become good friends with Bob and Buck, as he also meets with S.H.I.E.L.D. as a bar, with the two fighting Bullseye together. This right here, guys, is the full cast for the film, and yeah. Pause to read, of course. My bad. The mid-credit scene shows Deadpool on his honeymoon with Vanessa, and he finds a piece of Venom symbiote as he recites what happened in Thor Journey into Mystery and Thor Battle of the Gods before panicking and yelling for Spider-Man. The post-credit scene shows the anti-mutant company Worthington Labs as they are creating a mutant cure on the island Alcatraz Island in San Francisco, and of course, King Marco, aka Juggernaut, is imprisoned there. This is the full list of deaths. Pause to read if you need to. Fourth project is titled Miss Marvel Season 2. By the way, guys, this is a sneak peek of what Season 2 is going to look like. Episode 1 shows Kamala locked into the past. She is now known all throughout Jersey City. Miss Marvel praises a hero alongside her friends, and of course, they are confronted by a group of jocks led by Joshua Richardson, who is jealous of Kamala as they attack her and friends out of school before being arrested by Jersey City Police Department. Joshua, however, is bailed out by Jersey City Mayor Charles Worthy, who hates Kamala, and former friend of Carol Danvers, Becky St. Jude, aka Lockdown. Together, the two confront Kamala and her friends, although they are defeated, with Lockdown getting arrested, and both Joshua and Jersey City Mayor are killed by police department after resisting arrest. Episode 2 shows a new mayor in Jersey City, although there's still controversy following the attack on Kamala, although Kamala's worries slowly de-escalate with the Red Dagger and Kamala's grandmother Sana arriving for a special visit, with the two revealing that with all the Red Dagger members left dead, Kareem is the only hero currently protecting Karachi, Pakistan. Meanwhile, famous scientist Gregory Knox believes that he can fix the world problems by eliminating Kamala and all who she cares for, as he attempts to clone famous light bulb inventor Thomas Edison. Goes wrong, he turns into a human-bird hybrid. Kamala and Kareem learn about Gregory Knox's schemes on the news and warn their allies about this as they confront Thomas Edison's clone, the inventor, before Bruno uses an electromagnetic pulse to kill the inventor and Gregory Knox, as he's also killed in the explosion. Gregory Knox is killed, not Bruno, thankfully. Sana returns to Pakistan with their grandchildren, Zainab and Owas, in the end, and Kareem reveals his romantic feelings to Kamala as they embrace a kiss and promise to stay in contact no matter what. So Lilith had escaped the ancestral plane and formed a large section of the universe known as the Nord Dimension in order for the species there to serve her, although they refuse and banish her back to the ancestral plane. Kamala forms a team so that they can prepare to defend Jersey City by any means necessary, although to their surprise, Kareem explained to the group of his investigation more about the jinn and their connection to Islam, as they are worshipped and theorized all throughout the religion, but they turned out to be real, and after Lilith's banishment, the jinn took control of the Nord Dimension and treated all the other species and people there as inferior and slaves. The group investigated, which leads to a conflict with the jinn, as Kamala and Kareem use their powers to prevent further jinn interference with the rest of the universe. So Kamala Khan is investigating former base of operations for the X-Men known as Krakoa, served as a safe haven for mutants until anti-mutant organization Orcus killed 20,000 mutants, forced the rest to leave against their will, and of course Kamala and her allies go to Krakoa and try to find all the remaining mutants there. However, Orcus finds them, which leads to confrontation with the Planter, a mutant who refused to escape Krakoa. They fight, although Orcus arrives and kills the Planter, which forces Kamala and her team to escape the island nation. Episode 5 focuses on the Devil Dinosaur and his companion known as Moon Boy use a mysterious Nightstone to leave the Savage Land in Antarctica, although Moon Boy can't handle its power. Leads to his death. Devil Dinosaur uses it as he uses the Nightstone to enter New York City, meets a smart 9-year-old girl, Lunella Lafayette, aka Moon Girl. Jersey City, Kamala and her team meet a fellow vigilante who had just moved from Michigan named Fadlala, aka Amulet, and although Kamala is hesitant of him, Kareem convinces her that they will need his help in order to prevent Orcus from killing all mutants. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur meet the main team. They are protecting Nancy Street while Kamala tries to recruit her and Devil Dinosaur to go to Krakoa with them, although she refuses. Kamala and her team hack damage control. They believe that they could be associated with Orcus, find out that the director of the organization is none other than Bolivar Trask. Episode 6 focuses on Kamala caught sneaking out by her mother, as she tries to explain why, although her mother is already mad, Mother Muniba is mad at her, but Kamal needs to find Trask to learn about damage control's possible connection to Orcus due to their similarity, although she can't, as her brother Amir and her wife Taisha are having a baby shower to celebrate the upcoming birth of their first child, Malik. At the baby shower, Kamal and her team attend along with all of their friends, although damage control arrive and attack after learning that Kamal was the one who hacked them, although Kamal, Amulet, and Hulkling, out of everyone as a part of the team, are not arrested. After the baby shower happens, Kamala, Amulet, and Hulkling confront evil new human Kaboom, as Hulkling kills her since there's no police or damage control around the area. This gets to the attention of the Inhumans and New Humans, as they are planning on recruiting Kaboom, but ultimately decide not to due to her cruel actions in New York City. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur approach them in the trio as Kamala allows the two to join their team. The Inhumans talk to Kamala and realize they are going to need to make sure that the New Humans are safe with her and Kamala as they prepare to form the Champions team in order to go after damage control. After the Inhumans leave, the Champions and their allies attack damage control in order to release their friends from the Supermax prison there. Now, in a flashback, it is revealed that Damage Control and Orcus are indeed working together and want to wipe out all mutants. The big fight begins as the champions work on releasing Kamala's friends, while Kamala and her team attack many Orcus members before Kamala fights the Omega Sentinel. In the end, Damage Control and Orcus are both seemingly defeated, as Kamala and her allies and family members celebrate before the New Humans return to New Adelon, and also Kareem says goodbye to Kamala, as Amir, and Taisha also have their first child, Malik, and Zoe reveals that she is in love with Nakia. By the way, guys, this is the full cast for Ms. Marvel Season 2. In the mid-credit scene, Krakoa has now been rebuilt by the X-Men into an all-powerful mutant civilization in the distant future. And then in the post-credit scene, Orcus are revealed to still be active, although the Omega Sentinel, who survived the fight against Kamala, has taken control of the organization along with many other Sentinels, while using the human workers there as pawns for their own goals. By the way, guys, this is the full list of deaths in this TV show. Fifth project is titled Ghost Rider. It's a movie. So as a teenager, Johnny Blaze is a motorcycle stunt performer. His entire life changes when his father dies and is approached by a mysterious businessman who goes by Mephisto. He offers to resurrect his father in exchange for his soul. However, when it doesn't work, Mephisto keeps Johnny's soul and leaves him on his own. Present day happens. Johnny is married to his childhood crush Roxanne after he was adopted by her parents, Crash and Mona, as he is later approached by Mephisto again, who offers to steal the contract of 1,000 souls from his evil son Blackheart, who wants to overthrow his father in order to conquer Earth in exchange for getting his soul back, and he agrees to become the Ghost Rider. While searching for Blackheart, Johnny runs into Roxanne being held at gunpoint by a group of thugs who end up killing Roxanne, although Johnny fights men who turn out to be a cult servant Mephisto, as he kills them with help from the Penance Stare, which is sort of like a stare that is Ghost Rider's ultimate weapon. Now, for Robbie Reyes, this version is a former mechanic who wants to revenge for his brother Gabriel's disability and his own death as well, following his involvement with the street gang, the 5th Street Larcos. The two decide to team up as they also run into Carter Slade, aka Caretaker, and his granddaughter Sarah, as they reveal that they know where the contract of 1,000 souls is. The four, along with Johnny's best friend Alfonso Mackenzie, head to Mystic Castle in Los Angeles, where Johnny's reunited with his old brother Donnie Blaze, a former sorcerer who left Carmitage after Wong's death, and his mother Naomi, as the group confront them and everyone there for the contract, although Donnie summons a large horde of demonic goblins to force him out. However, they are defeated before Carter steals the contract as the four then escape the ensuing chaos. They go to Texas, where Blackheart is rumored to be located, as the group meet an order of monks who are protecting a young boy named Danny Ketch, his sister Barbara, and their friends Alejandra Jones and Jack D'Ora, aka Stryker from Mephisto, and Blackheart as the latter and his forces arrive, and they kill Alejandra, Mackenzo, and all the monks before Blackheart resurrects Roxanne into Black Rose in order for her to kill the group, although they successfully escape with the contract and Danny, Barbara, and Jax as well. Meanwhile, Mephisto realizes that he must kill Ghost Rider in order to retrieve the contract, as Centris, Steel Vengeance, Carver, Centurious, his right-hand man, and Vengeance go after the group for the contract, although Blackheart arrives with Black Rose and his forces before the first ever Ghost Rider, who is Johnny's ancestor known as Noble Kale, shows up and sacrifices himself to restore Roxanne back to her regular self again before Blackheart is defeated, but Johnny forces Mephisto to give him his soul back, and the contract is then destroyed. Danny and Barbara then reunite with their mother Frances, best friend Jack as well, while Robbie is able to live a peaceful life as a mechanic with his brother Gabriel, while Johnny parts ways with Carter and Sarah as he embraces his new life as the Ghost Rider. Now this right here is the full cast. I'll give you guys some time to read it. Alright, all good. Now in the mid-credits scene, Ghost Rider meets Blade, who is forming a team that defends Earth against supernatural threats. This team is known as the Midnight Suns. In the post-credits scene, Mephisto is very mad over the death of his son and the contract getting destroyed, as he promises his army that they will get revenge against Ghost Rider for this. Now, by the way, guys, this is the full list of deaths, and yeah. The 6th project is titled Fantastic Four: The Future Foundation. It's a pretty exciting plot. The Fantastic Four, Riot, Ringfoot, Herbie, and Franklin Valeria fight Ben Grimm's rivals, the Yancey Street Gang in New York City, as Ben causes chaos, which then Johnny Storm is believed to be killed by the bad guys, causes the Thing to go insane, and lots of fear throughout the local area, and even kills the bad guys as well. This incident goes viral in the news as many people begin to condemn and despise the Fantastic Four as a result of Johnny's death, and Reed realizes although not everyone will always love superheroes, he can make a change as he decides to reform the Baxter Foundation into the Future Foundation, although the building's owner, Walter Collins, who doesn't like the Fantastic Four and fears them, gets arrested, which allows the team to have full control of the building. So the Future Foundation is an organization that seeks to better serve humanity's future and solve lots of world problems, as Reed recruits many heroes such as She-Hulk, Spider-Man, Maria Hill, Franklin Valeria Richards, and Riot Wingfoot. Now meanwhile, Bentley Whitman, aka the Wizard, has just gotten out of prison after a conflict with the Fantastic Four all the way back in the 2000s, as he forms the Frightful Four, consisting of Thundra, Android, Dragon Man, the Trapster, and obviously himself. They also cooperate with the Intelligentsia, a group of supervillains who exchange and collect information while planning on destroying all superheroes and eventually taking over the world. Reed Richards also recruits the Power Pack, as they once got involved in the war between the chameleon and snark alien races after their father was studying antimatter and extraterrestrials, but when the snarks destroyed the chameleon's home planet, the Power Pack's mentor, Alfiri Whitemane, gave the four siblings their powers before dying. So the Future Foundation, Power Pack, and the remaining chameleons head to the Negative Zone in order to find the Watcher and Blastar as they request some help, although the Watcher explains his story with his former nemesis, Aaron the Rogue Watcher, after Reed mentioned Lifebringer Galactus. Dragon Man kills his creator, Professor Gregson Gilbert, and also Dragon Man, along with his men. Dragon Man, he and his allies successfully used their highly advanced technology in order to go to the Negative Zone, confront Future Foundation and their allies, and luckily the Fight for Four make their final attempt to defeat the team for good. The Watcher is able to convince some of the bad guys to betray the Wizard and work with the Future Foundation, and luckily the bad guys are defeated in the end. Bentley, Women, Thunder, and the Trapster are imprisoned in the Negative Zone. The Power Pack, Dragon Man, and Bentley 23 and also the Power Pack's parents all join the Future Foundation as they prepare to embrace a better future for humanity. Now, by the way, guys, this is the full cast for the movie. In the mid-credits scene, Johnny Storm is revealed to still be alive. He is still in New York City, hiding and watches the news of an attempt on the Fantastic Four team. In the post-credits scene, Cloak and Dagger await the arrival of Emperor Bacha, who is the emperor of the Snark Empire. By the way, guys, this is the full list of deaths. The seventh project is titled The Defenders. So overall, this is a sneak peek of what the show is going to look like. In episode 1, She-Hulk is searching for Bullseye and has now become a full-on villain, wants revenge against Kingpin in the Hand, and of course She-Hulk then alerts Daredevil and the Marvel Knights team as they are joined by their allies before two Hand assassins, Ikari and Kirigi, attack, although they are later defeated. Now they were hired by Lady Bullseye, who's now become a full-on member of the Hand. She works with Bullseye before he betrays her in order to get revenge on the Hand, while he hires an evil artist known as Muse to go after Daredevil and his allies. Bullseye and Muse fight Daredevil and his allies, although they are defeated, and after Bullseye escapes, he's later killed by Hand leader Madame Gao due to killing Lady Bullseye. In episode 2, the gang wars begun. Everyone is trying to take over the city. However, though, the Punisher fights evil gang leader Jamie Ortiz, aka Damage, later kills him. And we are also introduced to Moses Magnum, a mutant supervillain from Ethiopia who betrayed his own people when Italy invaded and later became a mass murderer and terrorist. He tries to kill the Punisher after moving to New York City. Punisher escapes, however, and finds himself in a prison where he's confronted by Barracuda, and the two then fight, although the Punisher is saved by his former comrades, Carlos Cruz and Burt Kenyon, aka Hitman, before they're suddenly reunited with Amy Bendix, Curtis Hoyle, and Microchip. Barracuda continues chasing after them, and it is revealed that he was hired by corrupt businessman Harry Eben, but although Barracuda wins the fight, the Punisher eventually gets the upper hand and drowns Barracuda into the ocean. He is seen eaten alive by a bunch of sharks, and in the end, Punisher thanks his allies for their help as he goes after many corrupt gangsters, including Moses Magnum and Harry Eben. Episode 3 mainly focuses on the Hand and their origin story. They were banished after rebelling against the champion of the universe, and of course, that kicked it off. Now, the founding members of the Hand, known as the Five Fingers, continued their drug trade in New York City. However, the Daredevil and the Punisher team up in order to oppose them. However, a powerful martial artist known as Scythe, fights the two, but they escape due to his power. Daredevil and Punisher team up with Chaste, a subgroup of the Order of the Crane Mother, and after spending hours of trying to find them, the Black Sky arrives and Daredevil and the Punisher both shocked to see her. It's not really Elektra, as the Black Sky then executes all the Chaste members, including Stick, as well. This leads to a fight with Scythe and the Black Sky. She is too powerful, which causes Daredevil and the Punisher to escape, as they realize that they need to form the Defenders team in order to defeat the Hand and stop the gang war. We focus on the origin story of Iron Fist, and of course start off with Danny Rand after his parents died in a car crash, and of course he is now going to destroy the Hand. He returns to New York City after the events of 7 Capital Cities of Heaven, reunited with his father's former best friend Harold, his brother Ward, and daughter Joy, although Davos is, of course, working with the Hand in order. Davos, Lei Kung's son, jealous of Danny, works with the Hand in order to infiltrate Rand Enterprises and manipulate the Meat comes to help them. Rand Enterprises and the Hand team up as a part of a deal in order to defeat Danny, Rand, and his allies. However, Danny and his allies all team up and works with the NYPD as well, and also defeat the bad guys. Although the Hand turns out to be a very secretive and gigantic organization, Danny spares Davos, abolishes Rand Enterprises, and after defeating the bad guys, Danny thanks his allies for their help as he vows to always protect Kunlun and defeat the Hand organization once and for all. Luke Cage was born in Savannah, Georgia, as Carl Lucas, and after being wrongfully convicted of a crime as a police officer, he was taken to the Seagate prison where he was experimented on through Weapon X, turned him into a mutant, caused him to have indestructible skin, become bulletproof. He later on escapes the prison after burning it and killing everyone there, even his own friend Reggie/Squapples, and Counselor Reva Connors. In the present day, he now lives under his new identity as Luke Cage and reunites with his dad James, who reveals his mother Esther passed away. He works as a bartender at Harlem's Paradise, secretly headquarters of the Stokes crime family, and also the Stokes crime family sent his men to attack Pop's barbershop as Luke Cage then investigates this afterwards, works with his allies, and also works with his allies, although more assassinations occur which were orchestrated by the Stokes crime family. Luke Cage is joined by his allies, including Bushmaster, who hates the Stokes crime family. They attack the bad guys, however not all of them are defeated. Shays and his crew leave the Stokes crime family as they and the people of Harlem side with Luke Cage, while Tilda Johnson secretly poisons her mother to death, and Willis Stryker, aka Diamondback, takes over the family. After her family died in the car crash, Jessica Jones was adopted by her best friend, Trisha's mother, Dorothy. She eventually became a private detective in the NYPD, and in the present day, she discovers that she has powers after the car crash thus she got into, also making her a mutant. She is married to Luke Cage as she saves her colleague Malcolm Ducassi after he almost got into a car crash. Jessica and Luke are put in trial for what happened during the events of Spider-Man Devil's Reign, represented by Malcolm Ducassi, Jerry Hoger, and her love interest, Sasha's assistant, Pam. They are attacked by a former subject of Weapon X, Nuke, as Jessica and her allies search for Trish but find her as a vigilante. She blames Jessica for not saving her mother after she died. But Nuke attacks the group and Jessica convinces Trish to help her defeat Nuke, and she does. In the end, Jessica apologizes to Trish for not being there to save her mother. Trish forgives her, the two part ways, and Jessica is recruited to join the Defenders team. So Danny Rand and joins the Defenders. So yeah, everyone, of course, the Defenders team is formed. Luke Cage also works with Shane and his crew to defeat Bushmaster, who wants to take over New York City as the new mayor. However, the Defenders team is formed. They working with Marvel Knights and NYPD, and they want more help during the gang war. They confront Diamondback and the new version of the Stokes crime family. Big fight ensues. The NYPD arrive, but they not only end the fight, but also arrest Luke Cage for escaping prison. Due to Cottonmouth's death in Episode 8, the Hand don't see Diamondback as a worthy leader, so they kill him, which permanently puts an end to the Stokes crime family and the Five Boroughs Crime Council. Meanwhile, the Defenders and their allies try not to have Luke Cage put in prison. Luckily, Luke Cage is proven not guilty, and amidst this, the Hand are still out there and locate their headquarters, the Midland Circle, a tall skyscraper-like building in New York City. The remnants of Fisk's empire are located there as well. The Defenders arrive and search for the Traxxas Mafia, who are believed to be held hostage there, although it's a trap set by Madame Gao and Byron Ferris. In the shocking plot twist, Kingpin had a secret son all along, named Richard Fisk, as he kills Byron Ferris in order to take control of Fisk's empire and get Fisk back into power ASAP. After escaping the Midland Circle, the Defenders hunt down Buck Cashman, aka Bullet, a mercenary hired by Richard Fisk. However, luckily Bullet is defeated. The NYPD are revealed to be in shambles and in shock following the deaths of Ray and Nadim, and Ben Donovan tries to manipulate them into moving on from it, although they are suspicious of him, which leads to the NYPD now under his control and also being heavily influenced by Fisk's empire. They unexpectedly betray the Hand and successfully prevent them from bringing in more drugs to the city. The Defenders learn from the Traxxas Mafia, who have been investigating Wilson and Vanessa Fisk, that Richard Fisk is Fisk's secret son, and is planning on bringing Wilson Fisk back to power in order to end the gang war in New York City once and for all, as Wilson and Vanessa are obviously in Bermuda still. Kingpin is back in New York City, reforms his empire, and is greeted by the Magi and enforcers. He announces that he will run for mayor against Luke Cage, and wants to expose the Hand's activities as well after learning of their betrayal and them killing Diamondback, who used to be a henchman for Fisk in the past. The team are assisted by Marvel Knights, Traxxas Mafia, Order of the Crane Mother, Shade, and his crews as they all come up with their massive plan to defeat Fisk, Empire, and Hand for good. They argue over destroying Midland Circle, but they have to. Fisk learns of this, tries to warn the NYPD, but they want nothing to do with Fisk. Benjamin Donovan reveals his goal to use the NYPD in order to take over the city. Massive fight ensues while defenders invade and infiltrate Midland Circle, and they are still assisted by their allies. They fight the Hand. Daredevil tries to convince Black Sky and Davos to betray the Hand, but they don't. Defenders blow up the building, rescue Davos and the Black Sky before a dying Madame Gao kills the Black Sky, and Melvin Potter is died there as well, since he was not rescued by the team, unfortunately. The NYPD are shocked to see the building destroyed as Daredevil faces off against Kingpin one last time, and despite Maya shooting him in the right eye, Punisher tells Daredevil to not kill Kingpin as Fisk and Vanessa and their crew are arrested. The gang war's over in the end as Donovan and the NYPD make peace with the defenders, vow to help them protect the city. Tombstone takes over the criminal underworld in a good way with the after making peace with the defenders. Everyone attends Janice Lincoln and Randy Robertson's wedding, while Luke Cage finally becomes mayor of New York City. This right here is the full cast, by the way, and yeah. Since the cast is so huge, I decided to split it between the protagonists and the villains, and yeah. In the mid-credit scene, a redeemed Davos and Iron Fist return to Kunlun. They celebrate the victory along with the Order of the Crane Mother, and Davos vows to help Iron Fist protect Kunlun. In the post-credit scene, Luke Cage meets a Tombstone as they talk about Spider-Man and realize they might be in danger since he did not attend the wedding of Janice Lincoln and Randy Robertson. And by the way, guys, this is the full list of deaths over here. I'll give you guys some time to read it. I know it's pretty big of a list, but whatever. The 8th project is titled X-Men Wolverine vs. the Silver Samurai. So in this project, 1945, Wolverine sent in Nagasaki to Japan to confront Emperor Hirohito. He discovers atomic bombs in the sky. The U.S. is about to bomb it. He saves the life of Japanese officer Ichiro Yoshida. In the present day, Wolverine is now living in Japan after the events of the X-Men, wants to move on from the team and start the next chapter of his life, while he's approached by Yukio as she tells him that someone very important from his past would like to see him. The person who wants to see him is none other than Ichiro, now the CEO of a powerful and influential business called the Yoshida Corporation. Wolverine and Yukio go to Tokyo, meet Ichiro's family as Shingen, who is Ichiro's son. One of them offers Wolverine to give his healing abilities to his father, which Logan, his nickname in Japan, sees as an act of violence and a curse as well, before telling Yukio that he's going to leave tomorrow. Next day, as Logan is about to leave Japan, he's attacked by the Yakuza before being saved by Yukio, who has betrayed the Yoshida family after learning of their true goals, which are very bad. The two are trying to prevent them from kidnapping Mariko Yoshida. However, they're saved by Shang-Chi, Sunfire, and Sunfire, who rescue Mariko. The corrupt chief of justice, Noboru Mori, has hired the Yakuza in order to kidnap Mariko so that he can help Shingen kill her in order for him to take over the Yoshida Corporation once his father dies, before Shingen realizes that his brothers are gonna want the throne and sends the Yakuza to kill them. John Wraith visits Wolverine as they form their own team in order to defeat the Yakuza and Yoshida families for good. Shang-Chi wants help from his allies, but Wolverine doesn't want them involved, while Shingen and Noboru turn Shingen's bodyguard, Kenichio Harada, I think that's how you pronounce it, but whatever, into the Silver Samurai, not only kill Wolverine, but also the Prime Minister of Japan, Ozaki, in order to take control of Japan and take away all of Wolverine's powers and give them to his father, Ichiro. Both Prime Minister Takehiro Ozaki and Mariko Yoshida are both held hostage by Shingen and Silver Samurai. Logan and his team attack, although they are opposed by Yakuza Kenji Oyama, aka the Lord Darkwind, and his daughter Yuriko Oyama, aka Lady Deathstrike. Ichiro and his wife Kuku realize what they have done, and the former accepts they need a peaceful death instead of trying to kill Logan. Shingen is too corrupt and abandons his parents before he's killed by Logan and his team as they rescue Marigo and Ozaki with some help from Ichiro before defeating the Silver Samurai once and for all. Ichiro and his wife die peacefully in the end. A funeral is held for him. The team part ways, with Mariko becoming CEO of the Yoshida Corporation after all the bad guys are finally defeated for good, while Yu-Gi-Oh decides to stay by Wolverine's side as the two leave Japan. This is the full cast, by the way, and yeah, it's pretty short, but whatever. In the mid-credits scene, Professor X tries to convince Wolverine that he needs to rejoin the X-Men, because it turns out humans and mutants are about to get into an all-out war. This will happen in the future. Wolverine realizes he needs to join the X-Men in order to prevent this from ever happening. In the post-credits scene, we find Lady Deathstrike wants more power for herself. She is searching for Wolverine in order to use his adamantium for herself. This is the full list of deaths in the film, by the way. The penultimate project in Phase 8 is titled Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I know this plot is pretty long, but it mainly starts off with Rocket and Groot's origin story, and of course they were both imprisoned and captured by the Shi'ar Empire, and under the care of Tiberius Lark, who is a robot. All of them are experimented, tortured, imprisoned, and enslaved many years to come, along with many other alien species for their own benefit. The other alien species are considered low class of the Shi'ar Empire, a very diverse empire that controls 10% of the galaxy, with many cultures and groups involved as well. Despite all of this, Rocket and Groot still become good friends, but the Shi'ar Empire, who want to keep Rocket and Groot under the influence, kill Rocket's friends, while Tiberius Lark is also killed as well. Rocket and Groot escape, and leads up to the present day. Of course, the Guardians have now headquarters on Nowhere, living peacefully there as Nebula and 2014 Gamora have officially joined the team, although everything changed when Gamora realizes that she needs to save her people on Zenhubi. Gamora must help and make amends with the remaining people there and make up for her father's mistakes, as she also only recognizes Nebula, not anyone else. The Guardians showed 2014 Gamora what happened to her original self. Shi'ar Empire later attacked Gamora and her people during their mission to find the Mkron Crystal, although the Guardians are rescued by the Ravagers and Starjammers before it is revealed that the Shi'ar Empire wants to use the Mkron Crystal in order to rule the universe. This also involves Negabama as well, with help from Shi'ar scientist Rugar. Deacon Naramani, a once high-ranking official within the Shi'ar Empire, killed its emperor in order for him to take over and achieve his own goals. Guardians and their allies then learned more about the Starjammers, as they were also held captive alongside Rocket and Groot. They formed after escaping, although they need help from the Sovereign. Despite them being hesitant at first, the Shi'ar arrive and defeat the Sovereign. Of course, the Shi'ar attack, and we learn a lot about their history with Christopher Summers and Catherine Summers, parents of Cyclops and Vulcan, and Alex Summers, aka Havoc. The two are separated by Deacon. In the past, Chris found that Catherine was in the middle of being assaulted by Deacon. He then killed Catherine in front of Corsair for going against him. Catherine was unknowingly pregnant, but Deacon ripped the baby out of her, and his name is now Adam. Deacon is later attacked by his own people in the coup d'etat while searching for the Mkron Crystal. The Guardians, of course, and their allies are getting involved in the battle as well. Deathbird is killed while trying to help Deacon overthrow her sister Lilandra. And of course, the Imperial Guards surrender as well in the end of the battle, who of course are Deacon's main men. Adam kills his father Deacon, as he then becomes the Emperor, while the Guardians and the Galaxies make peace with the Shi'ar Empire and mourn their losses, with many deaths occurring. Of course, in the end, Drax ends up becoming a quote-unquote dad to the kids on Nowhere, with help from new leader Nebula. Gamora ends up with the Ravagers. Peter accepts that he will never get back with Gamora, moves on from her, returns to Earth where he reunites with his grandfather Jason. Mantis ends up on a journey where she has to find out what she truly wants in life. Rocket and Groot embrace a new future for themselves and the Guardians team as well. By the way, guys, this is the full cast right here, and yeah. In the mid-credit scene, Kalog, aka Glider, who was once the leader and commander of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard, has left the Shi'ar Empire and finds himself on Sandar. Okay, I know you guys might have saw it, but I accidentally spoiled it, but whatever. On Earth, Cyclops tries to contact his brother Gabriel Summers, aka Vulcan, although he unfortunately doesn't pick up for unknown reasons. Third credit scene, the Guardians team now consists of Rocket, Groot, Victoria, Genus Vel, Phyla-Vell, and Blurp while trying to contact Peter Quill, who's eating breakfast with his grandfather, as the end credits scene reads that the legendary Star-Lord will return. Also, guys, this is the list of every character who dies. Yeah, there it is, clearer. And also, guys, the final project of Phase 8, you guys have all been waiting for it, X-Men Rise of the Mutants. Longest movie yet in TMCU, Charles Xavier was the first known mutant Magneto rescued from Auschwitz by Wolverine, Bucky, and Steve. They formed the X-Men. However, though it seems like all these terrorist groups have a hatred towards mutants, this of course is a long story to explain. Although, as we see here, Boulevard Trask has created the Sentinels. Magneto, of course, is involved. He's a good guy in the past, although right now things are starting to seemingly get crazy. Now, the present day happens, and of course, Magneto liberates Genosha from slavery and vows to make sure Genosha is a safe place for all mutants. Now, the government, of course, are building more Sentinels, but anyway, besides all that, of course, Magneto and the Brotherhood take over New York City, lay waste to it, and engage in multiple acts of mass murder, killing thousands, and also reveals his grand scheme. And of course, he wants to conquer the planet with humans as lower class and slaves. So, of course, the U.S. government and their allies release Sentinels in order to identify mutants, and instead of the Mutant Registration Act, because that's just dumb. Anyway, Operation Zero Tolerance occurs. Grayson Creed orchestrates the attack on who he's running up against for presidential election in 2032. Robert Kelly, due to his sympathy for mutants, Graydon then becomes the 51st president, disbands the commission due to James Rose's death. Mystique and Azazel's son Nightcrawler escapes from the Brotherhood, warns the X-Men and their allies of Magneto's plans. Now, of course, there's a mutant cure. Obviously, I know this is pretty much too long to explain, but whatever. Magneto destroys the Golden Gate Bridge. A fight ensues near Alcatraz Island. Of course, Mystique is human now, although she becomes good in the end. Bastion sends the Sentinels to attack the X-Men. They capture Valerie Cooper, Professor X, and Jubilee. Sentinels attack a mutant resistance group. Its leader, Thunderbird, dies. The Brotherhood ally with the Morlocks and Acolyte groups to launch an attack on many government officials, miraculously, including Boulevard Trask. And also, but Bastion learns from Valerie Cooper now supports mutants about his parents' death, that Trask killed them. He just doesn't care. However, X-Men arrive, fight Bastion and Sentinels before escaping. The Brotherhood then abolished the cure for good after destroying Alcatraz Island, kill many people there. Damage control and workers arrive and kill many Brotherhood mutants, although Magneto defeats them on Krakoa. X-Men head to Genosha to confront the Brotherhood. During this massive fight, Boulevard Trask sends Bastion and Sentinels to commit mass genocide on the mutants, as many people are killed, including Professor X, who believes that Magneto was right and that humans and mutants can never live in peace. There's still a human-mutant war by the end. Despite the Sentinels being defeated, Genosha is destroyed, and of course, Boulevard Trask, Magneto's surviving Brotherhood members are arrested. Graydon Creed becomes president, as I mentioned earlier. M-Day becomes an official holiday to honor the X-Men, and also Krakoa and Savage Land are one of the new embassies for X-Men. Cyclops visits Magneto in jail. They play chess. Magneto wants to escape. Although, not Xavier, sorry, I meant to say Cyclops, as he and the X-Men, as he tells Magneto that he and the X-Men will always be there to stop him. This right here is the full cast list. Don't worry, I will reveal who the actors and actresses are tomorrow. And, yeah. This is the mid-credit scene. Jean Grey has a vision of her becoming Dark Phoenix. Cable travels to the present day and hunts down Deadpool, and his new team known as the X-Force in the post-credit scene. And the third credit scene, Professor X is still alive, and yeah. This right here is the full death list, by the way. And that's it, guys, for Phase 8. Peace out for Phase 9 now. I hope you guys enjoy.